So we arrived at Bayernwald Trenches and we've got these tickets here. How much were they, James?
€5 each.
That's not bad. So you scan the barcode.
Yep. So there, I presume.
Yeah.
Go on. Other way.
The other way, this way. Ooh. Not bad, eh?
Oh, not bad at all.
You get those tickets at the Kemmel tourist office and the €5 each, which allows you in here. And we're going into these trenches now. This trench system has been restored, fully restored, in the exact location and the exact layout as they were back in 1916.
Based on archaeological research to prove it's correct with construction and such like.
So these trenches were close to the front line in Krunart Wood. That's the name of the wood, but when the Germans came here, they renamed it Bayernwald, and Bayernwald means Bavarian wood. So we'll have a little walk down here. It's quite uneven.
There's one here to have a quick. I think there's something
let's go down here. Okay. So what the Germans did, they lined their trench walls with these, like a weaving pattern, isn't it, with sticks?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then a couple of these deep shafts, which were essentially listening posts to listen for mining, because there was a mine detonated a very short distance from here to that side there. So
was it the one on the 7th of June 1917?
Yeah, there was 19 detonated, weren't
So yeah, there were 19 mines detonated on that date. So shall we have a little look further around?
Yeah.
Come on then.
And I think if we look at this picture, these are the location of the ammunition rooms. I presume that means they were under the trenches.
Yeah. Yeah, there will be. So, like I said, they're exact same layout and position as they were. They've just been fully restored. I think they were fully restored in something like 1971 when a school teacher found them.
Do you remember we brought a load of acorns back 2 years ago?
Oh yeah, we
and
did.
I planted them, and I've got a pot full of little oak trees, haven't I?
Yeah, we've got a tree growing somewhere.
We've got several. Little forest, we've got a miniature forest.
Oh, blooming heck, got to be careful on here.
Right, that just leads out, I believe. And then...
Where are we going?
I'm not sure, there's another shaft somewhere.
I think it's further round to the other side.
Oh, is it?
But this wood, Krunart wood or Bayernwald wood, was captured on the 7th of June 1917. I think it was by the 19th Western Division. And another fact, got to be careful on here, it's a bit uneven. Another fact about these trenches is that this is the location where are you? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm behind.
This is the location where Adolf Hitler, as a young soldier, he was a runner, and he was a runner in this location. Now, James said earlier, didn't you, that runners have something like a 2-week life expectancy.
Yep.
But Adolf Hitler obviously... Oh, we'll go this way.
Well, that's the shaft. That
Is
way.
it? Oh, we'll go this way then. So...
it was said by his compatriots at the time that he led a charmed life. He just seemed to be a very, very lucky person. Lucky for him, unlucky for us, as it turns out.
To be honest, I think he should have stuck to being an artist, doing his paintings and things, to be honest. So this is another shaft that we've found. If you look here,
I'm not sure what the scale is, but obviously it's very deep. This shaft discovered in 1971, was called Bertha 4. The current construction is still 17 metres deep.
wow, you see there's water in there, can't you? It's filled in with water. Of course, I think I've got a frog in my throat.
Bonjour.
Of course. This land around here it's quite, the water table's quite, is it high? Yeah.
Which presents even more problems with trenches and tunnels.
Yeah, they get
They're constantly filled with water, aren't they?
develop trench foot and things. Oh goodness me, what's going on? Anyway, so he actually got injured here, did Hitler. And I think, is it the one where he had a shoulder injury? I think he had another injury, but to be honest, I don't do a great deal of studying about Hitler, to be honest. I mean, we all know the atrocities he instigated during the First World War. Sorry, Second World War. Getting confused there. But now look here. Oh, these boards are a bit rickety, aren't they? I don't want to go flying. Now this here, you can see in there, it's a bit dark. Can't really see much.
Oh.
You're going to shine a...
I think we see not much of note, really. From 1916 onwards, the Germans built defence lines with bunkers. The bunkers on the hill were only 1.2 metres high. That's like 4 foot, isn't it? Meant as shelters against British fire. Most of them were in concrete. Near the front line, the Germans chose bunkers with prefabricated stones. September 1918, Bayernwald had 10 bunkers, enough room to hold 47 German soldiers.
It's good that they preserve these things, isn't it?
Well, it's important that they've returned most of the land to farmland, as it should be, and they've rebuilt the villages and cities and such like. But it's also important to record history and make sure that it is remembered, lest we forget.
The Germans, they had a better trench system than the British and Allied forces. They were in it for the long haul, weren't they? They were planning to stay. They generally had the high ground, and they were planning just to keep, just in for the stay, weren't they?
Well, they built much more comfortable accommodation, which was better for the troops. I think the British and Allied attitude was, well, we don't want to make them too comfy, or else they won't want to leave the dugout to go and fight. But
that's probably...
there's a double whammy, isn't there? Not only the Germans on the high ground, which gives you a massive advantage, but also the British would have been in much wetter conditions in the valley.
The location of this trench is not far from the city of Ypres.
Ypres, or Leper, is it sometimes? I think we haven't been up that one.
I'll go this one. I'm terrible at pronouncing these names, but...
Well, Ypres, as we pronounce it. I'm not sure if it's also pronounced Leper, but the British soldiers at the time called it Wipers, didn't they?
They did. We've arrived at the Pool of Peace, also known as a Spanbroekmolen crater. And this was a mine that went off 1917. And just have a little look at it now. So you've got to think here is it's actually it's filled in with water, but it's actually a mass grave as well. So there's a lot of German dead in here.
It's beautiful, the lilies and things.
Yeah, it's peaceful.
To think it was caused by such destructive force, but was on the site of where a windmill was.
Yeah, there was a windmill here, and that's why it's called. Well, molen means windmill, I presume, in Belgium. Belgium, yeah. Spanbroekmolen, also known as the Lone Tree Crater. It was one of 10 blown up by the Second Army on June the 7th, 1917. Following the explosions of these mines, Lord Plumer's army was able to secure the Messines Ridge. So it was blown on the 7th of June, 1917.
We're at Hill 60, and this isn't a real hill, so to speak. This is actually the spoil. There's two, one on either side. The spoil from a railway cutting just down here, and so it still represented high ground, and it was fought over repeatedly. I think it went back and forth between ownership. There were two huge mines placed here, which were detonated by the British, well, Commonwealth, and then after that the British took it, but then later it was taken again with the use of poison gas and also a strong German force, to the effect of having 3,000 British casualties. And then the Australians, also involved, built another shaft underneath the German positions and detonated that again.
Was that the one on the 17th of April?
I believe so, yeah.
Or 17th of June?
1917.
1917.
I think it was April. And then the Germans took it again in the spring offensive of 1918. So there's a memorial to all ranks of the Queen Victoria Rifles who gave their lives for their country in the First World War. The memorial.
It's quite small writing, isn't it?
It's like doing one of those eye tests at the opticians.
Yeah.
Yeah, I failed.
Do you want me to read it? I can see it.
Oh, go on then.
It says, the memorial having been destroyed in 1940 by the Germans, this plaque has been placed by the regiments on some of the original stones of the memorial to perpetuate their memory and the gratitude, I think it says, remembering of those who gave their lives in the Second World War, 1939 to 1945. So that was placed there, but before there, wasn't it? So, yeah.
Well, it was originally put here in the 1920s and then was destroyed by the Germans.
Some of the writing's faded, but so.
I think it's my eyes that have faded.
So let's have a little look round here then.
Yeah, and it was purchased, this plot of land, by an English family who have left it as it is for the benefit of people to enjoy or commemorate at least. And you can hear how close the railway line is.
Yeah.
Should we get back to the duck boards? So
it's like a pillbox thing here.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of may have been destroyed in
yes.
some explosions.
Hmm.
You can't really see anything.
Not really, but it was there once.
Should we go that way or this way?
Well, let's go on one duck boards because it's quite interesting to see how close the two lines are together.
Oh yeah, there is quite a close front line.
You could have heard the enemy talking pretty well.
And I'm just watching where you put your foot because I don't want to trip up. So
you're not bothered about me, it's just your camera you're worried about.
Exactly, yeah. Careful there. Hey, you don't know if there's still undetonated mines. It doesn't tell you. There might not be.
Well, if they thought there were, they wouldn't allow you access.
No, they wouldn't. So by the end of 1915, the British devised a plan of a major attack on the ridge at White Sheet and Mesen. Now, I'm saying White Sheet because I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. The attack would start with a series of heavy mine explosions over a distance of 15 kilometres. The plan was successfully executed on the 7th of June 1917. So we got that date slightly wrong, didn't we? The two most northerly positioned mines exploded here on Hill 60. 24,000 kilograms of explosives. And the Caterpillar 32,000 kilograms of explosives, which is just across the railway tracks. The tunnel was 700 metres long. The entrance was near to Lark Wood Cemetery at the foot of the slope to Hill 60 on the north side. And the mines left deep and wide craters in the landscape. So I think, ooh, I'm at this side here. I think it's just here where you can see front lines.
Two front lines.
Two front lines. So if you stay here, because it's December 1914 front line.
German front line. December
1914. You stay there.
Okay.
Let's have a little. So this here is the French front line by December 1914.
So that's where the two sides faced each other.
And also the British front line on January 1915. So the British basically took it over from the French sort of a month later.
But you could throw...
I couldn't.
No, well you couldn't, no. You threw like a girl. No, you could literally... If this was a cricket wicket, I think you're about the distance that a cricket bowler would aim at.
I could try
you could
to
literally throw a hand grenade into that from here, couldn't you?
But it's not far, is it really?
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Where we were at Vimy, where she told us where the front lines were something like 25 metres apart, this is a shorter distance.
This is crazily short. I mean, that is just crazy. You could literally throw a hand grenade into the opposing trenches.
Apart from me, because I can't throw for toffee. So, how do I...
No, that's a hinge, dear.
Is it? I can't...
You're unhinged.
Ah.
Oh, cool. You all right?
Are you...
I'm on.
Oh, we're on.
We're on.
Just checking.
Now, this is another monument, and this one's quite interesting. No, it's not.
It's not. Well, it is interesting. It's just in memory of the Great War. And it's just showing a memorial to the men who fought here. But there's another one.
Yeah, that's the one we want to look at.
Just along here.
It's this one, I think.
It's this one, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the one I wanted to particularly show you.
This was erected in 1919 by their comrades in arms. So, in memory of officers and men of the 1st Australian Tunnelling Company who gave their lives in the mining and defensive operation of Hill 60 1915 to 1918. But these here are bullet holes.
From the Second World War.
These are the Nazis taking target practice. I don't know what year, but it was during the Second World War.
Well, yeah.
So there you go. Hill 60 was a low ridge line, artificially turned into a hill, with the digging of a railway cutting alongside it. And the position was significant to the forces in this area, as it was offered a vantage point overlooking the surrounding countryside and trench lines. The Germans captured Hill 60 on the 5th of May 1915, like you said, after poison gas attack. And
held it for more than 2 years.
Yeah. And the British troops held the trench lines. British, Canadian and finally the Australian tunnelling companies dug underneath Hill 60. And finally, before dawn, on the 7th of June 1917, 19 mines were detonated along several kilometres of the German-French lines on the Messines Ridge. And that signalled the start of the Battle of Messines. Looks like remains of a pillbox there, doesn't it?
Certainly does. Yep.
Look at that.
And just up here.
We're on his way to what's called Caterpillar. We're on his way to what's called Caterpillar Crater. So that was one of the mines that was detonated on the 7th of June 1917.
Here it is.
Signalling the Battle of the Messines. here we are. And it's got some water in it and a nice tree at the end. So that is what's left.
Take a walk around it?
I don't know, do you want to have a walk around it?
Yeah.
So let's have a little walk around it then.
You've got to remember that it's peaceful now, but it was far from peaceful back in the First World War. And you've also got to remember that 650 Germans died in this attack, so many of them will have no known grave and will be in that, beneath that pool.
Yeah, just buried.
Buried forever. I read somewhere it was saying back there that the British detected the Germans tunnelling towards their position, but the Germans never reached them, and they detonated the mines before the Germans had got as far as the British tunnels, which obviously means those Germans who were in the process of digging that tunnel would have been buried alive. Still down there somewhere, but dozens of feet below the surface.
Here we go, we found it! This pillbox. This pillbox here would have been used by the Germans, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm out of breath.
Lots of poppy crosses left. There's one I can read here. It's in remembrance, Harry MacDonald, 1st Cheshire, 5th of May 1915, Hill 60, age 26.
Plenty of wreaths in there, isn't there?
There is. Look at this. Just look at this reinforcement. All
I
this
know.
reinforcement. You know, it is really
All that.
built to last, isn't it?
Built to last. So they'd be in there and they'd have the machine gun poking out.
Yeah.
Would it be, is it a Maxim? One of the Maxim machine guns?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to stand on top,
I don't know if I can get up.
of course you can, you did it last time.
Well, that may have grown up since. All right, I'm coming up.
Right. There he is. Long way down, isn't it?
It kind of slopes. I'm not sure if it's subsided or if that's just a structure or if the back's been blown off. But,
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you can't get inside. I bet that you may well have been a door around there. I don't know, but
there's an abutment on that side by the tree. That might be.
Is there?
Yep. Right, I'm coming down.
Oh, interesting. Isn't it?
Oh, we find it so.
We do. It's absolutely boiling.
It's got warm, isn't it?
It's quite muggy.
Yeah, it's building up to a thunderstorm. Thunderstorms are forecast either tonight or tomorrow, aren't they?
But it'll cool it down a lot, but you know, we
It will.
could do with a bit of sun out first to get some solar into that panel and bluetti.
That's right.
Because we're running out of power. You see, I said...
Oh dear, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. I said, why don't we take the electric hookup? Then we can go to a campsite and charge up, pay for electric and charge up. And this one says, oh no, we'll take the solar panel.
It'll be fine,
It'll
he
be
said.
fine, it'll be sunny. But the bluette is empty. His phone's died and my filming equipment's just about to die. So...
Rest in peace.
Absolutely. The trench...
Well, it was here. It was here.
It kind of, I think it is, from what I've looked at on the map, it zigzags sort of from this direction.
We believe these men were literally buried where they fell.
You just have to have a moment, don't you, to think about it all.